Right, tell the story about the manhole cover.
Right, in the same magazine as the one with the cat and the fire and that.
Don't tell me that story again, it gives me the shivers.
Yeah, a cat that's got a weird expression on its face is against God.
Anyway, this isn't a scary story, this was just, like physics. Physics.
Yeah.
It was going on about the, nuclear bomb and how powerful it is. And, they put a manhole cover on top of one.
Okay.
Blew it up.
Yeah.
Never saw the manhole cover again.
Man alive, Carl. Unexplained.
What's going on there? Something weird is happening there. Oh.
If anyone has ever seen that manhole cover, please get in touch. We'd love to know where it is.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Finally, White Van Man, what do you make of the fact that Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins?
Is that
a
true?
concern for you?
Is that true?
Apparently so.
Why?
Dunno.
Like it's easy to stack.
This is what the guy in the Sun has said. That should be interesting for that should be his comment on Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins is that should be interesting for meatballs. Ricky's just collapsed on the floor. Let's just play a song, Carl. I don't think even you can top that.
Right, so listen, what we're doing now, we're getting a debate going about... Actually, right?
Go on. We're struggling, go on.
No.
You can help me out here, Carl. You've got an idea. I can see it in your eyes. He's got a brilliant idea. Wait for it, go on.
No. It's something, when I was looking on the web, found something out.
Go on.
It's a story about a woman who had a baby.
What
What are you talking about?
What?
A woman who had a baby who was having a baby.
It was no clearer when you repeated it.
No! Carl! I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do for the common good, right? Pursue this line of inquiry, right? Because I don't know where it's going, or play a record. I'm actually torn. I don't know what to do.
No, I remember seeing it and thinking I've got to tell Ricky about that. It's brilliant.
What should we do? Should we go with it? I mean, it's like, it's entering into the abyss. It's opening Pandora's box. It's peeking, it's going down to the cellar.
I've got a couple of questions, though.
Go on, then.
Well, come down there with me.
Okay,
come down in the cellar with me.
Okay, right. Carl, what, first of all, it was on the web. What do you mean? The baby was what? Had another, was it, she didn't give birth, the doctor didn't find one of those set of Chinese dolls up her? Russians dolls, whatever they're called.
That's what I pictured it like, those dolls where you take the head off and there's another one in there that all look the same, but no, the story was, there's a woman who's...
No, don't just say it again, that's a headline. That's not a story. There was a woman who had a baby, That's not a story. Imagine handing that in as a thesis to loads of the BMA. There you go, and read that.
That's a children's rhyme.
Yeah, there was a woman who had a baby What do you mean? So she had a baby, right? Yeah.
And,
that bit's fine. We're okay with that.
That's normal. That's normal.
A woman had a child.
Yeah, totally normal.
She gave birth. Fine. Yeah. Next.
Well, I don't know that much more, apart from the fact that the baby's, like, roaming about, and then, 12 months later, she's like, oh...
Interesting, so the gestation period of that baby was actually 3 months more than an adult.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's weird, though, isn't it?
So, was the headline, my baby's 12 months pregnant? What are you talking about? 12 months later it had a... What are you talking about?
Forget it.
No, you haven't even finished the story. That what you said, and 12 months later, you didn't even finish the sentence. So what do you mean?
No, I didn't read any more into it, because I just saw that and I thought, that's weird, and then I just was thinking, oh, like, imagine the kid at school, at parents' evening.
Go on.
And it's like, well, your kid's pretty good, now let's have a look at your work, sort of thing. Don't you think that'd be weird?
But what? Did the child have a baby?
Yeah.
Of course it didn't! Play a record!
We shouldn't have gone down in the cellar. We should have just left the cellar door closed. I never learned. That's the Zombies and a song called Time of the Season. I've enjoyed that.
What do you think of Zombies, Carl?
It's alright, yeah.
No, not the group, but the Living Dead.
Don't worry about them.
No? Why?
Not about, are they? Doesn't happen.
You don't believe in that?
Listen, right?
You don't believe in zombies?
So,
But you do believe
online,
a baby had a baby?
Yeah.
On you go, on you go.
Are you still saying that didn't happen?
Yes.
Right, well, I'll find the thing again, I'll print it off, and then you'll read it.
All I'm saying is there's more information that we need.
Yeah.
But it always annoys me that when I do get the information, you'll go, yeah, but its name's Sally, you didn't say that, and make out...
No.
As if...
No, don't make it look like we're over-inquisitive or over-cynical. You come out with the most abominable things man has ever uttered, and you expect us to accept them. Usually headlines, usually illogical, not just probably wrong. So, fleas are born pregnant.
Are they?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. See?
On we go.
So...
See, that's true, and you're not impressed. Because it doesn't involve a little werewolf child. Or half man, half shark. You're just not, it's not good enough for you.
No, but if I read the first line of something, and it's not that interesting, I go, next, right, and I move on. Now, when I saw a woman had a baby, and it had a baby,
But you still didn't read on.
No, but, alright, I didn't read on, but it got me thinking. Like I said, you wonder about the parents' evening. I was thinking about, you know, is it a good thing? Because you're gonna spend more time with the kid. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of mums who have to go to work and that. She's gonna be a great mum. Grew up with her, literally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
She's gonna be a great mum!
I just wonder if, I know it sounds weird, but if
was it the you know the baby that woman had, was that a girl or a boy?
No, it would have been a girl, wouldn't it?
Of course it would. It'd be mental, wouldn't it, if it wasn't?
Right.
It'd have been a weird story, wouldn't it? I woke up this morning, yeah.
Feeling fine.
It's not a blues song. And, I turned my phone on, and it was from Karl, and it went, forget it, I've made my mind up. And I thought,
Wow.
what is that? And I
Forget it, I've made my mind.
Yeah, I went, Karl, what is it? He went, oh no, it's about the text I sent you last night. I went, well, what was it? I just got this text. He went, I was just wondering, I was thinking last night. He said, supposing you had to have your hands removed.
Sure.
Right? And the doctor said, well, you can either have them stay like that with stumps, or I can sew feet there. What would you have? And I was bleary-eyed, and I went, the stumps? He went, yeah. I went, alright? He went, yeah.
And then what was his follow-up text to that?
And then I got the text, it was obviously before it, and it went, and it was like quite serious. What would you do if surgery not doing your hands? Would you have stumps or the feet? Right? Now the way, when I said, he's made his mind up, and I went, the stumps, he went, yeah. I think secretly he decided on the feet, but was too embarrassed to tell me.
There's a little bit of what would you do? Because
But why did you think of this? Why did you think of this?
Girlfriend's away, right?
Yeah, no, that's not why you start thinking bizarre surgery devices.
Right? I'll let you into my little mind, right? Last night, I had some beans on toast, right? She was away.
It's good already.
She was away, she had some beans on toast, she went wild.
Yeah.
Right? Now, I was stood up, I live on like on a high street, right? So I'm washing up, I'm looking out the window. First thing that had me attention is, I can look into other people's flats, right?
Yeah.
And it was weird how all these different lives were going on, I was watching them, and everybody had the telly on and was watching Volcano, right? Which was on last night.
Right.
And I thought, oh, that's weird, right? I can see them all watching it. And it was like a little Chinese lad who was dancing around in some underpants. And then there's a little old woman who lives downstairs who was reading a book, and she's always reading a book every night, and it's like, I have a better life than her. And then there's like some sort of bouncer who's always getting ready to go out late at night with all the black on. He looks like a bouncer. So I was watching all this life going on, I thought...
Did you witness some murder while you were doing this?
Yeah.
It was like that sort of Sliver film where that bloke had loads of tellies watching people's lives. So that was going on in my mind. And then I was washing up, and I picked up the plate, and I thought, oh, it's amazing, isn't it? The human body. The way you can just sort of, you know, I want to pick that up, and you do.
Yeah.
And the way your hands work, right?
Yeah.
You've got 5 little digits, but it's just the right amount to do what you've got to do, right? So I'm cleaning the plate.
Sorry, Karl, stop. It's just the right amount. Might be one of the most genius things I've ever heard said. I would love David Attenborough to phone you up and say, Karl, how do I word this about the evolution of the mammalian front limb? Just go, We'll just say it's the right amount. Isn't it?
But it is.
It is,
One
of course
extra
it
would
is.
get in the way.
Yeah.
And one less would just make it that little bit more tricky when picking up a bit of a slippery dish.
Sure, or buying gloves. Yeah.
A slippery dish.
So then, I was thinking, right, imagine, like, going to the doctors and he's saying, yeah, everything's alright, your heart's good and everything, but...
Your art's good? What, your Larry's, or...?
Yeah, your heart, you're in good form and what have you. It's good news. You know, I had Giano in earlier. He's not looking good.
Yeah. I had Fat Swaller.
But you're alright, but your hands need to come off.
Right. Blimey. That's bad. Like, I'd get a second opinion initially.
But a better good news, I've got a nice pair of feet I can sort you out with.
Yeah.
And he puts them on, and then I was thinking, right, first of all, washing up, what would that be like? I thought,
Steve,
that'd be tricky.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was, it'd probably ruin the sort of the shape of your jumper.
Because you have to keep putting the feet through there. Yeah.
And then I thought, but I could still cycle in.
Okay.
To work.
You could run in.
Well, that's the thing.
You'd be really fast.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I thought I could still cycle because I could balance, and then I thought, but the only thing is I probably couldn't pull the brakes. Because of the little short things.
Yeah.
And then, like you, I thought, but then again, you're running in half the time. So that's what was going on in last night.
Right.
That's what I was thinking about.
Sure. Did you
How
ever...
long did this take?
Well, how long does it take to wash up?
Right, because I imagine you just being there for, like, all night.
Probably 25 minutes.
How long did the little Chinese fella dance for in his pants?
He's always doing it. Last night he was at it for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend never sits in the same room as him. She's always sat in the bedroom.
She's going, you dance in pants again, I go in next door.
Well, she was in the bedroom. She's always in the bedroom, sat on the floor, on the mobile phone.
Right.
All the time, yeah. It's weird how people's lives are just like, it is like that Groundhog Day thing. It's like, you know, he's jumping about in his underpants. The old woman's sat there reading a book.
Yeah.
And that's what got me thinking about my life.
Do you think she ever goes...
Are you sure she's not dead? Every time you look down there, she's just flicking through it. She's just reading this book. The pages never turn. She never seems to finish it. She never moves from her chair.
Are you sure the Chinese
Her
girl's
cats
going...
are dead around her.
I'm going into next door again. That little round-headed fella's looking in. He's looking in at me. The bouncer goes, "Don't worry, love, I'll go and beat him up." But he's always getting ready.
That's true. They
see you staring at him, washing up, going, "I could have feet here," and they get scared. The old woman's dead. Oh,
Carl,
dear.
can you tell us roughly which neighbourhood you live in, so that we know?
It's central.
Central, is it?
Yeah.
Wow, imagine if that little... Was he a Chinese fella, did you say?
Yeah.
Imagine if he was listening now. I'd love him to call in and explain his actions.
Well, he might be on some other radio station talking about a lad who's always washing up and looking at his hands in a mysterious way.
Yeah.
But do we know this doctor that would go, "Well, all right, Carl, you can either leave them as stumps, or I've got a little pair of feet." Why? I mean, I told Jane this, and Jane went, "Is that the only choice? You could say, could I have some dead man's hands? Have you got any? Where'd you get the feet from? Where'd you get the feet from? Can I have? What would you rather have then? Human feet or monkey paws?"
Well, I mean, that wasn't an option last night. That if the doctors said...
No, it wasn't an option last night, but don't forget, it's in your head, Carl. This didn't happen.
No, but I'm just saying, at the time, that's all the doctor had to offer.
But, you know, it's your head, you can go anywhere. No, it wasn't a real doctor to offer. It's in your head, you can go anywhere. You're not trapped.
Yeah, but if you can do anything, then you'd say, we'll sort us out some other hands.
Fair point, let's play a record.
We gotta come back to this.
Oh, something I want to ask you, Carl. There's that programme on now, I forget what it's called. Is it something like, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? Does that...
I did the non-broadcast pilot for that, because my mate was the, the Phil Belker was producing it, and I did it, you know.
And the premise of it is that it's one of those things about, you know, a conversation piece, the ultimate dinner party. I think you can have invite
people,
6 guests.
Dead, alive, or fictional.
Or fictional, yeah.
You know, you choose where you want it, and, yeah.
And anyway, I was just intrigued to know what Carl's, ultimate dinner party, who would pop round? Any of you cheeky freaks?
So what's this? I'm putting on a...
You're putting on an imaginary dinner party.
Anne Robinson's there, she's got to be there. I said I didn't invite you, she said, well, I'm there anyway.
Yeah.
So it was actually me, Anne Robinson, and 6 people.
Yeah.
And I chose people like heroes, like Muhammad Ali, Homer Simpson, or stuff like that, you know, James Randi, yeah. So, you could choose anyone.
Living or dead, fictional or otherwise.
Right.
Would it look like a circus from the 18th century?
I'll have like a few freaks in there.
Like what? Who would you have?
Well, the first person I'd have is probably have Elvis.
I had Elvis. I chose Elvis.
Why would you have Elvis?
He's just good, wasn't he? He was good at what he did. Just have a...
But once you'd said that to him, what would the rest of the
I'd say
conversation
sing us a song.
Right, so you make him sing a song?
Yeah, he'd be like the entertainment for the night. When he's not on the stage performing, I'd probably have the Elephant Man there.
Right. Well, so John Merrick, yeah?
Yeah, John Merrick.
Okay, I've got Elvis, John Merrick. If anyone's out there and, you know, you haven't got anything to do, can you write down everything Carl says from now to a year and send it to me and Steve, because we might want to put it in a book?
Yes.
Would that be good? Just maybe someone keep a journal of everything Carl does and says, and we'll try and keep a scrapbook of pictures.
Tell you who I would have.
Who?
Peter Kay.
Right.
He'd be good, he'd be brilliant. I'd want to be sat next to him, because he's...
Well, I mean, you're friends with Ricky Gervais, why would you want to...
No, but... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Peter Kay.
Alright,
Peter Kay.
Yeah.
Which one, would you do him as himself or one of his characters he does?
Just as he is.
Yeah.
He's funny, he's a funny man.
Yeah.
Love him. What else? Probably, that fella who lost his arm when he was climbing that mountain. Remember?
He had to cut off his own
weeks
arm.
ago,
Yeah.
Right, why would you have him?
I'd just like to have a chat with him and say, you know, what happened there then?
Yeah.
Well, we know what happened there. He cut his arm off. What would you say? Did it hurt? Yes, it hurt.
But I don't think it would hurt. That's one of the questions.
What are you talking about?
I reckon the shock cancelled any pain out. If you're stuck there with a boulder on your arm, you've probably got bad pins and needles, right?
Yeah.
With a big rock on your arm.
Yeah.
And you'd say, right, so how long were you sat there before you said, well, I've got to cut this off? Did you read about it? It was amazing.
What do you think the other people would be doing when you were talking about this bloke about cutting his own arm? John Merrick wouldn't mind.
Can I just ask?
Elvis would probably be off his head on something.
Elephant Man will be having a couple of buns.
I hope Peter Kay didn't make a funny comment. I hope he doesn't make a funny comment.
Yeah.
Right?
Can I just, a quick warning?
I'll just put bloke with one arm, bloke with...
Be careful, Carl, what you serve for dinner.
Yeah.
Because he's only got the one arm.
Yeah.
So, you know, certain things. I mean, maybe suggest, something you can eat with chopsticks.
Or a hamburger.
A hamburger. But don't go with something like lobster. Tricky, you need both hands for that. Unless him and John Merrick teamed up, I think they've got one good arm each.
Yeah.
Soup, maybe.
What would you give John Merrick? Buns?
Couple of buns. Have, that woman in the boat who went round the world.
Why?
So, you know, how she managed
Pretty
that.
boring guests, really.
Hey?
But boring?
What do you mean, boring?
What was she going to say? What she said, she was going, well, I didn't see a lot. I was in a cabin. Really? There's a lot of water. I was a bit scared.
The main thing I'd want to ask her, right, because I remember when she did it, and there was an interview with her, and her parents were there or something, and her mum was saying how she's dead proud because she decided to, you know, go around the world in a boat as a kid, instead of just hanging around on street corners and stuff. She said she didn't want her daughter to, like, be messing about on the streets at night on her own and stuff. She was a responsible mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, she sent her off on a boat.
Sure. In the middle of the Atlantic.
On her own.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask her about that.
I think even Manchester's safer than that, innit?
Yeah. And I'd have, probably another woman, so to chat to her, probably go for, Kim Marsh.
Kim Marsh?
Sorry, you'd have the woman who sailed around the world, right? But you'd have to have another woman for her to have someone to talk to. Well, why invite either of them then, if you don't want to talk to either of them yourself?
What? Sorry,
I love this. Round World Yachtswoman, and Kim Marsh.
But why, of all the women you could invite, Kim Marsh is at the top of the list?
No, that's the best list I've ever heard. Elvis, John Merrick, Peter Kay, a bloke with one arm, the Round the World Yachtswoman chatting to Kim Marsh. That is genius. Why haven't they invited you on this show? I'm going to call Anne Robinson. Right, okay, if anyone's listening to that, have Karl Pilkington. I know no one knows who he is yet, but what a great bit of conversation. Play a record, Karl, you're an idiot.
Some Smith?
Oh, always a treat. Yeah, we played something from Morris's selection. Something that would be on my ultimate compilation is something from the Smiths. and it'll probably be this one. I started something I couldn't finish. I think that's one of their underrated albums, Rick. Strange Ways, Here We Come.
Might be my favourite.
It's my favourite, certainly.
Yeah.
And that's from that album. I started
Queen is Dead is a lot of people's favourite, but I don't like the wacky ones.
It's the novelty ones. It's
got some great ones. I think he's got some of his best tunes on there, but I don't know the frankly Mr. Shankly.
Yeah, he's always got this tendency to sort of write music hall style songs.
Yeah, but that's a great one, that. So there you go. Elvis, John Merrick, Peter Kay, Bloke with One Arm, Woman Who Sailed Around the World, Kim Marsh.
What I like about those two, numbers 4 and 5, he doesn't even know their names.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he'll just write on the invitation, Dear Bloke with One Arm.
Yeah.
Having a dinner party.
Yeah. It's better than most, but I imagine most people when they do it as if they go, Nelson Mandela.
I know, of course, yeah. I think I read an interview with Mick Hucknall where it was something like, who do you admire? Nelson Mandela.
Brilliant. I don't read papers when I'm in this country. When I was on holiday, I read one, and there was an article in there about Beckham meeting him, and the article was about how many people have met him, and I was thinking, we are the only 3 people that haven't met him.
Nelson Mandela, yeah.
It's just like, does he rent himself out? Do you know what I mean? It's like the back of the, in the back of the stage when you can get a Caprice lookalike to wander around. They go, is that a lookalike? No, that's really him. It's 40 quid, he'll come to your party.
I think what it is that he was locked up for so long.
Yeah,
he's now just
he's never home.
He's just so shocked.
He's like Salman Rushdie, he's running around. I've seen him twice.
Yeah.
His house must be a tip. He's never in. God.
Well, I think it is if you stay indoors for a long time.
Yeah.
You've got to get out there. You've got to get out
You get
in
a bit
the world.
stir crazy, I suppose.
But he's met some of the great names in world events. Obviously, he's met the Spice Girls. Alan Titchmarsh.
He's met him, yeah. They did his garden, didn't they?
Yeah, David Beckham.
Yeah. Oh, that must have been great. But I mean, maybe we could hold out and never meet him.
Yeah, this is like
even if we get invited to one of them, that's where I go, no.
Yeah.
Not really.
We're the only 3 people who've never met Nelson Mandela.
I'm not meeting him till I make sure he's definitely going straight.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't really. I don't like to hang out with people who don't.
No, well, I wouldn't invite him to my ultimate dinner party in case, the silverware went missing. Oh! Well, you don't know, he was inside for a long time. They pick up things in these places. You can pick stuff up.
It's usually Karl that comes out with those sort of things. Karl, what do you think of that?
What, Nelson not having him around because he's nicking?
Well, let's back out now. Let's back out now while we're ahead.
Be good in, Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah.
Being used to being locked up and that.
We could, wouldn't he? Yeah.
I started something.
I couldn't finish.
Yeah. Should we play another record, or should we talk about some, on a lighter note, Muffy the hamster had a narrow escape with a...
Play a song, let's have the Rockbusters answer.
Oh, God.
Nirvana, in their version of The Man Who Sold the World, a David Bowie tune. It's good.
Good tune.
Taken from that new Nirvana compilation.
I like that version, I like the David Bowie version.
You can't decide, can you, Rick? You're torn.
In fact, I like the Lulu version as well.
Is there a Lulu version?
Maybe we should play that one week. Yeah.
Was this recorded, what, in the 70s?
I think she recorded it about the same time as David Bowie. I don't know if he released it as a single. I think it was just on off the album.
Interesting.
Karl is studying. Okay, what's the next one? What's the educating Ricky?
I don't know, see, like I say, I was looking around and there's stuff that is interesting. Right, I was looking on the web.
But there's no point.
Well, it's just that I found one about,
what's the point?
About a lad who, 8 years old, but he's still breastfed. Now, I don't know if you can get anything out of that.
Is that what his mum said? What do you mean I don't know if I can get anything out of that? You don't need to.
No, it's just that,
Where did you read that?
That was on the internet.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're always unspecific when you mention it. It's just it was on the internet.
Well, I'm trying to think what I put in. I think I put in Y to see if I'd confuse the computer.
Go! You are...
No, I did
no, honestly.
I did a search, put in Y, and it came up with funny things that, like, why is this person doing that, why is that... And it had a picture of this 8-year-old lad, sort of, on his mum's nipple. And, it was saying, is this healthy?
You sure that wasn't asking you that question?
What? I put in Y to confuse the computer. Like the computer going, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Stop it!
Yeah.
Oh, look, last week, I was walking, home with him, and I went, he was saying something stupid, and I went, I've got a competition for next week. Let's do a phone-in, and it's called Karl Pilkington, Genius or Fool.
Yeah.
Right? And he went, no. I went, why not? He went, well, it'd be confusing, because they say there's no difference between genius and being a fool.
You do though, don't you?
No, but it's rubbish, and people say there's a fine line between madness and genius, and, it's a ridiculous soundbite. They don't say there's a fine line between a genius and an idiot.
Well, the people who do are idiots.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would you do there, though, just to sort of wrap that little thing up? What would you do? That lad loves his mum's milk.
What are you asking me to come up with?
No, I'm
a
just...
title for the story?
No, it's just what would you do? Right?
What do you mean, what would I do?
Well, it's causing a bit of a problem in the area, right?
What area?
In America, I think it was.
Oh, America are a problem, are they? George Bush is worried about this kid who's breastfeeding at 8.
Imagine it like this, right?
Right. But, so, Carl, what are you asking me? About this spurious story you saw on the internet?
I saw it on the internet. There's an 8-year-old lad, he likes his mum's milk.
Yeah.
And it's saying, is this right? Should it
No,
be
it's
going
not.
on?
But what
do you want Ricky to do about it? It's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
No, but the little town that he lives in, they're all causing an uproar, right? Going, this isn't right, you know, I can't let my kid play out in case he's in the garden with his mum getting a bit hungry, right? So,
Oh, God.
what should they do? Because his mum's saying, well, he likes it.
Yeah.
And he, you know, so what do you do?
I don't know the laws.
No, but I'm not asking you to sort out the laws. I'm just saying, if you lived in that neighbourhood, what would you say? If you went up to him and said, look, everyone's getting a bit fed up with this, look.
I'd say, what would I do? What do you mean, what would I do? What are you asking me?
Right, it doesn't matter.
No, what are you asking me? What are you asking me and Steve and the
I'm
public?
just saying, say if you live next door to this woman.
Yeah.
Right? The kid's hungry, 8 years old, he's out playing on his bike and he goes, Mum, I'm getting a bit peckish, and he goes, alright, son. She whops one out. And he starts having his milk, right? You live next door, you're putting your washing out, and you see this going on. You're getting a bit sick of it, because it's gone on for months.
8 years, I assume.
Why is it your business? Why are you such a nosy neighbour that you're concerned?
What would you do, Carl? Let's turn it back on him.
Yeah.
What would you do?
What's your solution?
What would you do?
Well, I thought I'd say, right, why are you doing this? And she'd say, because he likes it. And I go, alright then, put it in a bowl first.
And you think that would sort that out?
No, because I was thinking about the whole thing, right, and you do that when you're a baby, and everything's alright, innit?
Yeah.
No one bats an eyelid at a little baby having a bit of milk from its mum's breast, right?
Yeah.
You'd almost say it was natural.
But you grow out of it. It's like, you don't see. It got me thinking about things you don't see. And you don't see.
Did you put this into a computer? Show me things you don't see.
What else don't you see?
Well, you don't see, like, an old man having a Twix. You never...
Oh!
So what?
You know the terrible thing about all this, Steve, is he's right.
You don't see an old
No,
man
I
eating a
know,
Twix.
that's a terrible thing.
So what they have got, right, they've made old man toffees, haven't they? They've come up with Werther's.
Is that a song? Oh God! You don't see it.
No, listen now. So they've got their Werther's, right?
Yeah.
So
Look at him! You
Forget
think he's
it.
giving a lecture at Oxford?
it's not going anywhere.
No,
you
go
know?
on, sorry. Go on.
I'm
What?
just saying,
Right.
you grow out of things.
Yeah.
And the old man, I'm sure when he was a kid, he'd have a Twix.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't look right, so he's having...
It doesn't look right!
So...
Right.
I don't think Werther's originals were specially designed for old people. I think they were sweets that just happened to have been made for years. That's why old people eat them.
Yeah.
They didn't go, hang on, there's a market here. I've noticed old people aren't eating Twixes. Quick, let's make some old man sweets.
But the little advert, he gives it to his grandson as well, doesn't he? He goes, I have a Werther's original.
Now, I think it cuts though before he throws it back in his face and goes, get me a Twix. And a damn curly-whirly, Grandad, you old fool.
Feeder, come back around, XFM, 104.9. Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. I asked Karl in the week, right, what animal would he never trust? Even if he got to know it and it was a pet and everything, what animal would he never trust? What was it?
Was this, a wasp?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you trust a wasp, Carl?
I just think that,
They're shifty?
all other animals, if you get them at an early age, you can sort of make them like you.
You can train them.
A wasp.
Nothing.
Never.
Is there anything do you think there's anything you could do that would kind of, win the favour and win the trust of a wasp? What would you have to do you think?
What if you had it from a little grub?
Yeah.
And you fed it, you had its favourite marmalade?
It doesn't affect it though, does it? A bee dies, doesn't it, if it does it, so it's not gonna, like, use it willy-nilly.
That's easy for you to say.
But a wasp,
you think they sting arbitrarily? They just sting for the fun of it? They're like sort of like delinquent insects? Like
I think so, because last night, right, I mean, this is part of educating Ricky in a way, but something I learned last night was that tarantulas only bite you if you annoy it.
Right.
They don't, do you know how people say, oh, if you're in a sleeping bag living in a jungle, a spider will get in there and it'll bite you?
Yeah.
Apparently not, you've got to really annoy it. The thing that it really hates is having its leg sort of twisted.
It hates having its leg twisted. Right.
Yeah, but that's more for...
Is that what they said in a documentary?
No,
actually said the voice
almost certainly not, Steve. Almost certainly
Were you watching
not.
a documentary?
No, I was reading it.
Oh, you're reading it.
And, it was this guy...
Was it scrawled on the wall in like a public toilet?
No, I'll tell you. I'll tell you more about that later.
Oh,
It's
right,
part of the, thing.
Educating.
So if you don't
Obviously,
trust the evil wasp, what animal do you trust? What's your favourite?
Well, I also, I said to him, right, supposing your mind, right, your mind got put into any animal, right, and you've got to get from where you are now, right, to Glasgow, right, as an animal, right, but the authorities will be looking out for it.
Okay.
And it's shooting you, right, and, you went through loads, didn't you?
I was thinking about it it must have took me about an hour.
So your mind has been put into an animal.
And then, yeah, so it's you in this animal thinking you've got to get to somewhere.
But the authorities know you're in the animal?
Yeah, maybe your body is in Glasgow somewhere, and you've got to get this animal to get to you so it can transfer its mind back into your body.
But the government knows that I'm...
Oh, we've all had that conversation.
So the government's going, Karl can't have his own brain back.
I only have it with Karl, don't I, these conversations. Go on, yeah.
So you're on the way.
So think about it, you think about it just for a second, so, let's recap. Your body's in Scotland.
Right.
He's the only one that takes my question seriously.
Your brain is in London. Right? And there's like loads of security and stuff looking out in the sky for animals or looking on the field, seeing what's looking a bit suspicious. Trying to get to your body.
And they're shooting
the brain, and they're shooting everything and killing all the animals. What thing would you pick to get your brain to Scotland that wouldn't get caught? And I reckon I've got the answer.
A wasp?
No, because think about it, a lot of people get irritated if it sort of wanted to get a lift in a car going down the motorway. If someone's driving there's a wasp in the car, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, sure.
Cause a right accident. Yeah. So think of something that people wouldn't, you know.
And the clock's ticking as well.
You're taking this really very seriously, aren't you, Karl?
You've only got a couple
you've given this a lot of thought, haven't you? You have.
Yeah.
So, something with speed.
Yeah, it's
something
got
that can travel quite speedily.
Well, that's... Yeah.
Well,
and something that's also inconspicuous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that the sort of thing that's what you're going to
Yeah.
And is it a creature that's native to this country?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
I've got no idea, Karl. What are you thinking?
Tell him.
A flea.
A flea?
Tell him why.
Think about it. Right, this flea, it's got my brain. It's dead small, the flea.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah.
And so it goes, right, I've got to get to Scotland. So it jumps on someone who's going to Euston Station.
Right.
They don't know it's there.
No.
The government can't see it.
Can't see it, Steve! Think of that statement! Think if you just tuned in.
Yeah.
Now,
people get on the train, goes to Glasgow or Edinburgh, wherever in Scotland it is. It jumps off, it goes right, jumps on someone else who's going the way it needs to go, gets there, still no one's seen it, jumps on me, I get my brain back.
Yeah.
The government are like, phew.
And you feel confident that your brain would fit in that of a flea's?
Well, you said there was no problem with the size of it, you said you could...
there certainly wouldn't be.
So...
No.
I pretty much you could download everything you know into a flea.
Yeah.
So that's genius.
Yeah.
That's,
what would you rather have, right? Roller skate feet, and there's little wheels, right? Chopstick hands. Yeah? Instead of hands. Chopsticks instead of hands. Wheels instead of feet.
Yeah.
Right? Or acne.
How big are the wheels?
Can I take you guys back to the old school? Do you mind if we take it back to the old school?
Well, yeah, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna lay on me?
No, I just, maybe a bit of a De La Soul.
Yeah,
Is that a problem? Is it a problem going back to the old school?
No,
we don't need to go if you don't
as
want
long as it's vinyl shit.
It is indeed. Slam it on.
I never went. There we go.
U2, Electrical Storm, that's great. That's great, I love that. On XFM, 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington. Karl, I want you to tell Steve what you told me in the week. About the snake, about the anaconda, how to... Right, this is Karl's method. He's not scared of the anaconda, the 30-foot long, biggest, scariest snake.
No, you were talking about stuff, weren't you, about in jungles and that, and animals.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
And I remember reading about, say if you're in the jungle, and you get tired and you go to sleep, right, and you sort of wake up and you feel something on your leg, and you look down, and it's an anaconda, right?
Yes.
And it's swallowing your feet, because apparently they always go from the feet up. They never eat you from the head. So,
okay. Shall I save these points to the end? Cause
make a list of the points.
Cause they always eat head first, cause the way the fur goes, where they have to take a capybara or even a rat, they take it from the head first.
Make a point.
Okay,
make some notes.
Okay, so that's wrong.
We'll come back to
Okay, next, go on. So they always eat you from the feet, go on.
So they're swallowing your feet, and it said on the website, if you wake up and you see this anaconda doing that, sort of eating away at your feet, don't panic.
Don't panic. I'm just writing this down. Don't panic. Hold on. Okay, go on.
Don't try and kick it off.
Okay.
Just let it sort of swallow you. But only up to your knees.
Okay. Why not kick it off straight away? Cause
I think it sort of gets a bit angry, it starts thrashing about, and it can swallow faster, I think.
Oh yeah.
I'm guessing that bit.
Okay. Just put a question mark by that.
Okay, pop a question mark next to eat.
So
knees.
yeah, so it's
eat knees. So eat it up to your knees.
It's up to your knees, and then what you do is you get a knife.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you cut.
And how do you get a knife? Do you walk over to the kitchen?
I was gonna pop over, get knife. Where's that come from? Get
the
knife.
You always have a knife.
Okay. Always have a knife, of course you do. Otherwise you're a fool. Always have a knife, okay?
Well, come on.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go into a jungle.
Always have a knife, okay.
Always have a knife, yeah.
Simple.
Could I just suggest something? You know, suppose you're wearing combat trousers, and the knife is actually in the trousers by the knee, the sort of pocket by the knee. What happens then? I suppose you could still reach into the mouth, couldn't you? So anyway, you've got a knife. Let's say you've got a knife. Let's say you've fallen asleep, the anaconda's chewing your feet, you let it eat up to the knees, you've got a knife, what do you do then, Karl?
Right. So it's up to your knees, and what you do, you get your knife that you got out of your pocket earlier, and you cut it at the mouth, right? Do you know, like, either side of the lips?
Right.
So you're sort of cutting it in half.
Right, like a Chelsea smile.
And it can't, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It can't do anything. It wasn't ready for that. It can't move about because it's got, like, your legs in its mouth. And peel it off and walk away.
Okay. My main point, really, is this, Karl. Never will an anaconda or any constrictor, python, boa constrictor, just start eating a sleeping man. He will crush you to death first. That's why they're called constrictors. They're not called gobblers, are they? Or holy swallowers. They're called constrictors. Why would he start eating something? Is that how they take down antelope? Just start chewing their leg? Oh, it's gone off. I'll tell you what, lads. They get together, the snakes got there and said, I'll tell you what, we're losing a lot of prey by just living at their ankles. They're running away. Let's crush them to death first so they can't move, then we can swallow them. You're a fool.
So anyway, right, so I was telling him this bit of information because we started a feature last week. Well, week before.
Sorry, Karl, can we just go back to the crushing you to death first?
Yeah, but, well, I read it.
He's won there. He's beating you there, Rick.
Okay. Did it say what to do if it starts crushing you to death first? No. Did it say what to do? Supposing it had this meeting, and it started crushing you, and you woke up and it was actually round your chest. And every time you tried to take a breath and breathed out a little bit, it just tightened its grip, because it can feel that. What'd you do then?
You sort of tighten yourself up anyway, because I've read about that.
Yeah.
If one does start wrapping around you, you sort of make yourself into a ball, first of all, and it'll wrap around you, but it's alright because you're protecting your lungs, so it can't crush you, and then you just sort of shout for help. And you
shout help with this 30-foot snake. Do you know how it works? It gets as tight as it can, it can feel actually as tight as it can, right? With these huge muscles, right? Yep. Right? When you leave a bit of breath out, it tightens again.
You won't be that out of breath, you haven't been running anywhere, so you can just go...
What, and when do you get the new mouthful of oxygen?
just breathe very slowly, like you do.
How?
I know.
Do you know what breathing is? Do you know what breathing is? It's extending your rib cage, right, intercostal muscles between the ribs, contract like that, okay, making the rib cage expand, which pulls air in through, it's like a bellow. That you can't just breathe via the mind. It's a physical process. It's your rib cage pulling over.
Maybe I'm special, but I can do little breaths without my rib cage.
Play a record, Steve.
Yeah, you're special.
Play a record.
No.
You can't take little breaths
Well,
without moving your rib cage.
Can I just give you the titles, because we're running out of time, we've got a competition to do.
Okay, alright, let's just leave the anaconda discussion. Why don't you agree to disagree, and we'll see who survives if you crash land in the jungle.
Thin Lizzy, don't believe a word on XFM 104.9. I'm gonna miss this show. It's been good.
You won't be the only one.
No, well, you know, so we'll come back again. Yeah, we've got a lot to do over the next few months, but maybe for Christmas or just after. But I still call Karl every day anyway.
Oh, sure.
I called him, a couple of days ago.
Of course you did.
And I went, it was the weekend, I went, what are you doing? He went, oh, just in Regent's Park and that. I went, what are you doing? He said, just going for, he went, oh, Jesus. I went, what? He went, a caterpillar just fell out of the sky. I went, what? He went, a caterpillar just fell out of the sky. God, it's there, it's wriggling around. I went, sure a bird didn't just drop it. He looked at it and went, oh yeah. It was a bird.
Of course he did.
Yeah.
For a moment he thought caterpillars were raining from the sky.
I thought I was in Chicken Licking.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Why did you think a caterpillar had fallen out of the sky?
I don't know, it just startled me a bit.
I love Karl being startled.
I like the idea of him straight on the phone to Trevor McDonald. Look, Trevor, there's caterpillars, insects falling out of the sky. They're falling out of the sky now. Put it on the news, quick. You sure there wasn't a bird? Oh, there was a bird. Yeah, sorry, Trev. Bye.
But it was after, like, I hung up the phone and that from you. I sort of, sat there for a bit watching it.
I imagine him cross-legged, just in front of it.
But do you know what?
Grass.
Because of his shape, the shape of his head, and his sort of IQ, I bet the caterpillar was thinking, Mama.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Go on.
It was sort of running about all over the place, right, Steve? So caterpillars have loads of feet and that, don't they?
Well, they have 6 legs. They're actually larvae of an insect. They have 6 legs, but they have little sucker things to hold on to the back of cabbages and that.
No, they've got more than that.
They've got. I'm telling you, they've got 6 true legs. Trust me. Trust me, I'm a scientist.
And you were thinking what, Karl?
Well,
but they've got little pods. They've got little pseudo pod legs and little suckers. Yeah.
But it was running about like everywhere, right? Mental, but sort of running off to the left, and then it sort of went back to where it was. Then back, you know, went right and what have you. And I'm just thinking, whoever gave them the legs, right? What's the point if they don't know where they're going and that? Do you know what I mean? If you can get about—
Imagine that sentence. Did you hear that sentence? Can we play that sentence back?
No, I don't think we can.
Imagine who gave him that legs.
Whoever gave him them legs, what's the point if they don't know where they're going and that?
And that. Always and that.
And that, but maybe you just, to be fair to the caterpillar, with all its legs, okay, and you know where it's going, it had just been plucked from its house by a bird, shot up into the sky, and then dropped from 80 feet, hitting the ground.
Onto the head of a weird, bold-shaved monkey.
It was probably concussed.
Yeah. It's one of them things again, though.
But it still knew more about the world than you. How does that make you feel?
I just think it's a waste of time having all them feet. It's the same thing as the,
now it's got feet now!
It has a nightmare buying shoes, doesn't it, Karl?
all the, what was it you were saying about leeches and that, because we were talking about insects.
Well, they're not insects. They're not insects.
What are they?
Well, I think they're probably, probably platyhelminth. Probably sort of like a flatworm type thing.
That's what you were thinking, wasn't it, Karl?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know what the phylum is, but they'd be, you know.
What was the leech, what was an interesting leech fact?
There's an experiment, where you get a maze for a leech, and there's a bit of blood thing, and it eventually finds its way to the blood, okay, and then it knows.
Okay.
And if you put it back to where it starts, it knows where it goes straight towards it, because it's learnt it. If you liquidize that leech,
right,
and feed it to some leeches who have never done the maze, because of a thing called chemical memory, they find their way straight to the blood.
That is extraordinary.
It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible.
We should try that at Hampton Court one weekend. but maybe with some tourists. We'll just blend up some tourists.
Or the people on I'll tell you who would do it. Those people who go on Celebrity Love Island.
Any of them.
They will do anything to get They will be liquidised. People have enemas. They will do they wank off pigs. They will do anything to get on telly. What about that? Be liquidised and fed to another. Get one D-celebrity slapper, liquidise her and feed her to another slut.
So we blend
and see if
up
she can
Tippers.
find her way. And see if she can find her way to Channel 5.
Yeah.
What a brilliant show. Hosted by Jimmy Carr.
Of course.
That'd be amazing.
What kind of conversations would you have then with your
What do you
mum?
say?
Stuff.
Do you moan about how overworked you are and stuff to her?
I mean, they're always surprised when I'm getting in late and that. It's like, you know, what have you done today? Well, I've just got in from work and it's like 8:30 at night.
A lot of people get home at 8:30, Carl. Next.
You know, just saying how's the flat going. I was asking my dad some DIY tips the other day. You know, usual sort of stuff you talk with your mum and dad, really.
Yeah.
Talking about the Bisons with them. I was watching, did you watch The Mammals in the week?
Oh,
David Attenborough.
No.
I was thinking, actually, right, all this MTV stuff, if there's one reason why I'd like to do it, is I was watching Attenborough, the Mammals programme. I reckon I could do something like that.
Right.
And just have like me, instead of Attenborough, like a young, sort of fresh person.
Yeah.
Watching, like, certain animals and saying, do we need these? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, God! What's it called? Death on Earth?
Well,
That's amazing! Do we need these?
And,
No, 'cause there's loads of
and the
stuff.
audience at home would vote. Would there be some kind of
Yeah,
telephone
like a
vote?
vote out system.
Oh,
But the
that-
thing is like, it's something interesting that Attenborough was saying the other night on,
Do we need these?
on Jonathan Ross's show, on his telly show, right? He was saying, he said you could take all the humans off the earth and it would carry on. But take, like, some animals off it, mammals and that, you got problems on your hands. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like, the question is, do we need these? Is that part of the big thing?
Right.
Like jellyfish.
Yeah.
We've talked about jellyfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So which mammals in particular were
You talked about it on
watching
Zoe
that you
Ball
thought-
show, haven't you?
Eh?
Which mammals were you thinking we don't need when you watched the show the other night? Any in particular that you thought they don't need them? They're not of interest.
Well, I like whales, but I don't know what they do. And they're taking up quite a lot of room.
Sure.
But stuff like,
Yeah.
but like, jellyfish, I looked into because,
Yeah.
you know,
well,
I was
know you
talking
don't-
about them, and they were saying they've got no eyes, no heart, they're something like 97% water,
Yeah.
they're blind, and they do about 33 miles a day.
Right.
So it's like, do we need them? Could we clear them out?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? A big net.
That would be the programme. What, right, we'll get rid of them. Next week, we'll be looking at,
Rhinos.
I think it's genius. Honestly, I think it's genius. And like going along sort of like picking up sea anemones and going and just lobbing them into the sea.
well, what do you think about MTV doing that? And then I just, in between the bits,
Play music videos?
I play music
That
related
relates
to
to it.
fish, so I could play like fish,
Yeah.
like Rock Guy, or the animals,
Rock lobster.
yeah, or what else could
This
I get
could
in
run
there?
and run.
What other songs have got animals in them? The
Well,
monkeys, could play the monkeys.
Yeah, there's about 1 million, so let's not start this.
No,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
do you know what I mean?
So do we need this?
So MTV
Carpet-
flies you around the world
And
to
you-
the most incredible exotic locations. You sort of climb up a tree or whatever next to, I don't know what lives up a tree, some kind of rare parrot. You say, look
Sloth.
at that, it's colourful,
Sloth.
it's interesting.
Oh, you like sloths, don't you?
No, they just live up trees, but I'd say, do we need them?
Why?
Well, what do they do?
What do you mean? What do they do? What do you want from an animal? Carpentry. What
Well,
do you
like,
want?
I don't like scorpions, right?
Right.
But then I found out they look after those monkey things.
They're not monkeys, they're
Whatever.
lizards.
Well, alright, yeah, them lizards, they look after the lizards. So there's a reason.
But do you need the lizard? Could be your
Well,
next
yeah,
question.
because the local people made shoes out of them.
But not when the scorpion protected them, they didn't.
Alright, we don't need them then.
So, and so ultimately, would anyone decide? I mean, do the animals kind of get a chance to mount a case for their survival? I mean, is there maybe someone that comes into their corner and sort of defends them?
I'd have like a David Attenborough type character who says,
Right.
well, they do this, and I'll go, yeah, but do we need that doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what does an animal need to do in order for you to feel that it sort of gets a chance of life? I mean, like a pet, like an animal, like a dog maybe, or a cat, I mean, they give a certain affection to its owner. Is that a valid, reason to survive? Not particularly for you.
Not really.
No,
I
okay.
mean, saying that though, blind people use dogs, so they are useful.
So dogs are useful. St.
Farmers
Bernards,
use
they
dogs.
often save people, don't they, in
Yeah.
snowy weather?
Cats. I'd have to think about it.
Okay.
Keep the mice down.
Yeah, but you got rent-a-kill.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is something that will affect the world.
Right. I think you'll find everything does. I think you'll find everything does.
Except Karl. I'm not sure what effect he's having on the world.
I tell you what though, Steve, right? Did you watch the mammals?
I did see the mammals.
They had bison on it.
Right.
The weirdest looking things you've ever seen.
Yeah.
They've really
Again, you're on dangerous ground here, Carl.
but they've really got a, it's like, decide what you want to look like. It's just a mismatch of stuff. It's got a really big airy head.
Yeah.
And like you.
Sort of bald at the back.
Right.
Sort of
It sounds like
thinner.
someone you went to school with.
Was there two of them? Oh, brilliant.
Want me, I'm your country.
Cardigans, You're the Storm on XFM 104.9. If anyone from Heart or Magic or Radio 1 or Radio 2 is listening, could well be available come October.
Yeah.
Alright?
Please get in touch.
Yeah.
I think that my new TV is too big, Rick.
I said that
I
when
know,
you
I
bought
know what
it.
I was thinking.
But I can't believe it. He talked about this buying it. He's got a bit of cash now, of course. And what is it? 42 inches? 42-inch plasma screen. What did it cost you? $3 or
Oh,
something?
don't tell me, that's
Wow,
huge.
it's
3.5
ridiculous.
grand.
£3.5 big spender. Of course it's too big.
Well, I can't get far enough back in my room, in my living room for it.
You know, you're meant to be, I think, 4 times the screen size away from it
Really?
to get out from the air. So that's 4 times 42 inches you're meant to be sitting away from it, which is impossible.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to just get friendly with the neighbours.
Yeah, watch it through a hat.
If that's the case though, aren't you better off just getting a portable?
What?
I don't understand that rule.
What to get-
What are you saying?
Well, you're meant to be 4 times the screen size away from the TV.
But
That's
then what's the
rest-
point in having a big telly if you've got to keep moving further back? Get a portable.
And sit
and
right
sit
next
near
to it.
Is that how they sell it? Is that what they say to you?
Well, no, it's a rule, but I do see your point. Why do people go to the cinema then?
Did you see films that aren't out yet?
Fair enough, he's got you there.
Done.
I'd tell you this though, I had it delivered, and are you supposed to tip delivery men?
Of course you are.
I don't know. You see,
Well, if
I've never had anything delivered before. I've never
Well,
spent
no,
that much money.
not if it's a courier with an envelope, but if it's a bloke who's struggled up the stairs,
I held the door
two
open for
fat blokes with a fridge, then give him a £5 for a drink.
The problem was, I didn't realise, and I was thinking to myself, I wonder if I've got to tip him. And the guy was leaving, and my mobile phone went off in my pocket,
Yeah.
and I reached in to get it. He put his hand out thinking it was a tip. I went, it's just my phone.
Oh.
And I felt terrible after he left. I didn't know. What was I going to do? Run down the street and offer him a £5?
No.
No, of course not.
No.
I'm not made
No.
of money. I just spent it on TV.
Yeah, I've got no money, mate.
No.
I just spent it all on
Yeah.
this. I had to clean out my jar, everything,
Exactly.
the drawers.
Yeah, it takes me, bottles back.
What
But the problem was, it took me forever to wire it in. I thought, I'm not going to pay for someone to wire it up, you know. So it took me about 3 hours to wire it in, and it was huge, and I got it switched on, and the first programme that was on when I got it wired in was Bargain Hunt. I'll tell you this, David Dickinson's tan almost took me eyeballs out. It was incredible. It was really, it was like X-rays. Extraordinary, the glow.
I know, a huge plasma screen with this orange thing
Yeah.
coming out, and he keeps turning to the camera,
Of
doesn't he?
course, that's
Just to
great.
get you. Yeah, he turns away, you get a bit closer, they go, what's he doing? He just turns around,
Exactly, yeah.
takes the cornea off.
What do you think, Bargain Hunters? Bargain Hunters, Bargain Hunters.
Oh dear, well, that's why I'd buy a plasma screen to watch, Bargain Hunt.
I mean, it's ludicrous. This is the problem, is because what do you
I
watch?
mean, have you watched anything that's been worth having?
The only thing I've watched really worth watching.
24?
Well,
On-
yeah,
on a
24
big-
works great, but also films. Obviously, that's the main reason I bought it, because films just look amazing on there.
Yeah, DVD on the
See,
plasma
that's
screen.
it. If you're into films and that, it's
Yeah.
just that I only, you know, I've just got the 5 channels and flicking about, and I'm not impressed. I mean, I can understand why more people listen to radio and stuff.
Yeah.
Cause,
Well, not this one, but go on.
well, when was it? When was the last time I sort of sat down and had time? Because I'm always busy doing stuff and that.
Sure.
Um,
Moaning takes up about 3 hours a day.
when did Wimbledon finish?
A couple of weeks ago.
Right. Found myself sat there, right, and I'm not having a go. I know we've stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week and all that, right? So I'm not going to be having a go.
Christ.
I sat
almighty.
there.
I'm scared.
No, I'm not having a go. You've always got to remember that.
Go
I'm
on, just get on
telling
with
you
it.
what goes
Get on with it.
going in
I'll
my mind.
apologise after.
I'm just saying, watching Wimbledon, it wasn't, you know, one of the major games. It was little fellas and a in a wheelchair, having a game.
Little fellas in a wheelchair.
Right.
But for me, I mean, you know, great, they're doing a sport and everything. Don't put it on the telly.
What was up with it?
There wasn't like a rally going on. No, do you know what I mean? Do you know normally, like with the well, not to Enman, but with some of the other with some of the other players and that, they're playing for ages, aren't they? It's like, oh, who's going to win this and that?
Yeah.
None of that. It was just like, hit it, net.
Oh, Christ! Oh, God! I don't know what to do!
And people were like sat there watching it as well, when they've got other games going on in there. That's what I couldn't understand. If you've paid your money to get in,
yeah.
I mean, like I say, good on them if they, do you know what I mean? But it would have been,
and they all start first in the marathon.
I just thought it would have, you know, given the game a swing ball or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I understand.
Oh, God!
Yeah.
There's never anything on.
XFM in the community.
Did
Brilliant.
anyone confirm, actually, I had an email earlier,
Swing ball!
No, I'm not having a go though. Tell them. This is what I'm like, aren't I?
Sorry, this is recording you as well. What do you mean I'm not having to go tell them? Do you think you just said that to me? That do you think you haven't got a microphone? You just said to London, keep wheelchair sport off the telly because they can't get a rally going. You called them little fellas in wheelchairs. What? And I meant to go, what Carl meant was... What? I mean, what? They can hear you as well.
Yeah, I know, it's just that they might think that I'm having a go, and I don't want them to. That's why I stopped Cheeky Freak of the Week, because some people got the wrong end of the stick.
Right.
And what have you. So
What, that it was funny that a woman was born with deformed legs? They might think you were taking the mick.
Anyway, I just was wondering if anyone could confirm. We had an email earlier, I forget who sent it in, but thanks very much indeed for it. They said that the Paralympics began this week, and apparently during the opening show, the entertainment was provided by Riverdance. Now, I don't know if that, I can neither confirm nor deny that, but it does seem rather tactless. Let's play a tune. Ricky Gervais.
Don't put my name to this last link. Don't put my name to this last link.
Ricky.Gervais, xfm.co.uk.
Oh.
Magic, Virgin, if you're listening, we are available probably sooner than we thought.
PJ Harvey on XFM 104.9, the home of the classics.
Absolutely.
Classics.
Classics.
Oggy.
Oi.
Well, we were talking earlier about this, as this book, They Died Young, right, and there's all these theories about these people, like famous people that, aren't really dead. And I remember speaking to someone about this, okay, and they said to me, Bruce Lee is not dead, right? They said he's not dead, right? And I said, well, how do you know? So he's going, no, it was a whole big thing by the Hong Kong government, and he's actually working as an undercover cop in Hong Kong, using his kung fu powers. Now,
no, apparently he faked his own death, Carl,
Yeah.
so that he could work undercover for the Hong Kong
Yeah.
police, infiltrating gangs, the triads, that sort of thing.
Now, my point is this: if you're going to use someone undercover in Hong Kong, right? You know, an undercover cop, I suggest using the most famous Chinaman of all time. That would
that's
be
a guarantee.
Yeah. So, you know, when he's taking away a gang, they're going, you look a bit like Bruce Lee. He's going, no, I don't know. See this moustache?
Looks a bit wonky.
Well, it's, just take my word for it. I'm not Bruce Lee, alright? Well, all that stuff he did when you punching us and kicking us and yes. But, I'm not.
Yeah. It does look a bit like the stuff in my film, in his films.
In his films, yeah.
But it's not.
It does
it's just
not.
coincidence.
No, yeah.
The thing is, though, I'm not sounding bad here, not trying to offend anyone, but they do all look the
Right!
same.
They do all look.
No.
No,
It's-
I've gone no. You know, we're having a serious chat.
Right.
I'm not here to upset anyone.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, over here,
I'm so sorry.
no, I'm not. Yeah, but you know me. I'm not out to upset
Right.
anyone.
Right.
You're not a racialist.
No.
What do you mean? Are you saying
What I'm
Orient
saying
people
is-
all look alike?
Well, look at the people over here, right?
Yeah.
With like you've got ginger
this-
people. You've got people with black hair. You've got people who are fat, people who are thin, but they're all so sort of fit, which isn't a bad thing. They all do that sort of thing in the park. They're all fit. It's a place where black hair. I mean, when they come here, they take pictures of people with ginger hair, don't they? Because they don't get them over there. That's what I'm saying. So calm down. Jeez.
So you're saying that Bruce Lee, the most famous Chinese movie star of all
They
time...
can't tell him apart.
Other triad members would... How are they... I mean, how are they going about the business at all? I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is,
How
how would
tell
they
it-
even
how-
realise that was the guy?
What do they have to do? Wear numbers in, you know, because there's a billion
No, but
of them.
when you know them, then you know.
So what? Oh, I see. They can tell each other apart, can they? Well, they got signals. This is amazing, isn't
That's
it?
how he got away with
Simon, which one are you? Just raise your hand, Simon. Yep. Chang, which one's Chang? Chang, good. Yeah.
Oh, it must be murder, mustn't it? Just
it. That can be the only.
people going into the wrong houses all the time, getting off with their mates' wives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare, then.
It must be a nightmare.
Carl,
Please don't complain. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm really sorry to anyone that's... he honestly does not know what he's saying. XFM 104.9.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Go on.
I don't think I am offending anyone.
Okay. Fine, that's alright then.
And you know that I wouldn't want to do that.
No, I know you don't.
Before
Oh, no.
I would have swore
Oh, I
on the
know.
radio. I said, right, if you got kids in the car, turn your radio down.
So before you make any potentially racist remarks, just point out if you are listening and you might be Oriental.
Yeah.
Please don't take offence.
Or go... Oh.
You know what I mean. So
Yeah.
go on then, so what was this other dead person? Who's not...
Carl, play a record. Ricky's having a heart attack. We'll come back.